Hmm. We are live. What's going on, everybody? Cali Death Podcast back once again, episode 211. I'm your host, Anthony Trapani. As always, I got at least one resident homie with me, starting it off. Got Casey Howard with me. What up, Casey?
Top of the evening to you.
Yeah, dude. And hope you guys have been having a good time since we were last on. It's been a couple of weeks. I said it last time, dude, but it really feels like forever. And it actually, makes me more excited to I'm like, oh yeah, dude, it's Thursday. Yes.
Yeah, no, I was stoked for tonight. I was like, yes, this would be fun.
Yeah. Totally, dude. And tonight we are joined by Teresa Flory, aka Teresa Wallace, aka Raya Marie, aka Raya Wallace, aka Raya Chu, aka what else we got?
Rhea. Sorry.
Sorry.
That's okay.
That's
all good.
It's classic for me to mess up a name. It's really and I try every time and it still happens, guys. It's just par for the course. It's built into my blood, I guess. But yeah, you have a lot of freaking names, Teresa.
Yeah.
That's awesome, though. Me and Casey were laughing at it because he's like, I can't find her on Instagram. I'm searching Teresa Wallace. I'm searching Teresa Flory. It's because it's Maria Marie, aka Rhea Chu. I choose you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Teresa, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Hell yeah.
We met in Texas. We met in person in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I actually the first time I saw you in person was at a Cartilage show at was it the Parkside? Is that where you guys did you guys play with Ontogeny and Bong Father?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I always cite that show because that's the first time I actually met the professor in person. We had already been doing the show, but I had not yet met Joseph in person, and that was the first night that we met. So that I'll always remember, not only because it was an awesome show, but it was the first time I got to give the professor a hug, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was cool to see you guys that night. And then obviously meeting you at Texas and all that stuff was really cool. And now we're finally here. We talked about it that day and things happen, but here we are. So thank you, Teresa.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. As soon as the intro popped up, I was like, oh, fuck, what's really happening? I've listened to so many episodes. I'm like, damn, I'm low-key fangirling. This is sick.
Oh, right on. No, it's all good. This is a chill environment, so there's nothing to be tripping about. You've seen the show, so you obviously know how the vibe is. And yeah, we're just here to talk about you and your life, and your involvement in music and all that stuff. So let's do some plugs real quick. First, though, Casey's rocking a very comfortable t-shirt tonight, and that logo on that is for battleforgecoffee.com. You can get that shirt and some quality coffee over at battleforgecoffee.com. It's our homies in Deeds of Flesh. It's the most brutal Cali Death coffee you could ever drink. And not just that, I want to say, I've said it several times, I'm a coffee guy. This is actually quality coffee. You're not buying bullshit. So go over there, check it out. They got merch. They got obviously coffee, and go get fueled up for the day with your Battleforge coffee. GeneratorRehearsalStudios.com. That is where we want you to go in the SoCal area to get your jam on. Also, Ben and Casey are doing lessons out of Generator Rehearsal Studios, and if you would like to get a lesson by either one of those dudes, you could also figure that out at generatorrehearsalstudios.com, Oceanside, California. There's the flyer right there. So you got music lessons. The number you can also call is 442-500-4768. Yeah, I'm sure Ben might be. That's probably Ben's personal cell phone number, but he won't tell us.
If you're interested, just check out the Generator Rehearsal socials. Generator Studios, like Instagram and stuff like that. So,
and that's what it is. It's just Generator Rehearsal Studios. They could search that on Instagram and find it. Nice,
easy to find. I mean, they can find me too, but it's like it's like easy for people to check that out. Anyways, that's all.
Right on. And also, we don't have a flyer ready, I don't think, but the Defeated Sanity and Violently Vomit tours popping off hard. We're seeing the
Europe,
documenting all of his what up, Diego?
It's like he's here, dude.
Joseph's having a fucking blast, and it's really cool to see all those dudes out there together in Europe.
What a sick time, Kevin. Yeah, I bet, dude. Sick tour, like that's sick.
It really is sick, dude. I mean, to see Disgorge and Defeated Sanity on the same bill, like what the fuck, dude? It really is kind of mind blowing.
Is Embryonic Devourment out there too?
Oh yeah, and who else? Sorry, I'm sorry for the other band. I'm forgetting who else is on it, and I should know, and I feel like a piece of shit now. But yeah. Chronicles of Lunacy tour. Is that what it is? Chronicles of Lunacy. Yeah.
Sick.
All right. We love Defeated Sanity. We love Violently
Vomit. Someone in the chat, tell us what we're missing. We fucking fucked up.
Yeah. We should have the free. Jedi, what up, dude? Murray Fitzpatrick in the chat. What up, dude? Love you, brother. All right. Now for Teresa, what do you want people to, or where do you want people to go on the interwebs to find out about all your projects?
I guess on the Cartilage Instagram, Facebook, and the same with Emasculator. Tons of things happening for both projects. I made a ton of notes. Just so many things happening.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, that's cool. So then just go to the Cartilage socials. Obviously, Emasculator socials too. And you've got some other projects too that I peeped a little bit this week. And what is it? What's the M band? Mandratha?
Oh, so that's a project that is Rob Miramonte's.
Oh, okay.
So I jammed with them really briefly, and for some reason it still shows up on my metal archives. But we did.
Yeah, that's where I was getting that information from. So then you're not on any of the albums. You were jamming with them for a little bit.
No, which is crazy. I'm literally not on any releases. I learned maybe a couple songs. That's it. Yeah,
that's all good. Well, cool, dude. So Cartilage, check it out. Emasculator, check that out. Which, by the way, I mean, I've already been a fan of Cartilage. I mean, we've had Adam Humam on. He's a great friend of mine now too. I've worked on his car ever since he's been on, and he's the reason why I knew about Cartilage in the first place. And also, side note, we interviewed your husband way back in the day. Another thing that I should have fucking on hand right now is what episode that was. God damn it. For the Logistics Slaughter, and your husband's name's Mike. So back in the early days of this show, your husband was one of the first, within the, I would say it's definitely within the first 20 episodes. Let me see. Cool. Logistic. Yeah. So that's cool too, to literally have our separate connections happen, It wasn't, we're not having you on because we've had Mike on. We're having you on because of our own connection that we made. Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. Let me, Is it? Oh wait, no, it's not. Definitely, it's not in the first 20. It was episode 59, if that is correct.
Close enough.
So just after a year of doing the show. But yeah, all right. So we got all the plugs out of the way and all that, and all of your list of names. Now let's get into you
My many
personally. So where'd you grow up?
In Concord, California. It's like inner East Bay. I'm still in Concord.
You're still there? Yeah.
I'm gonna die here, dude. Forever.
Oh, Concord, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
very chill.
Right on.
Yeah.
Colin from Vile lived out there.
Yeah, that's where he mastered Imperial Mastering.
He would regularly go to my coffee shop back in the day.
Oh, really? You were a barista?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Still a barista.
Hell yeah. Battleforge Coffee, what up?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so Concord's where you grew up. My question for everybody, because we need a starting point. So talk about childhood and how music or art was involved in that, whether it be from a parent, sibling, cousin, whatever, or even just your listening to the radio and the song caught your attention at a young age, because I think that's like a really pivotal moment that people don't realize, because up until a certain point music's just the background, but then all of a sudden you get that click where you zone in and that's the only thing you're paying attention to. And we take that for granted in adulthood to look back on when was the first song that really gave you that involuntary thing. That's the whole reason why I asked that. And I know that's a long way of asking the same question I've been asking for 211 episodes, but it's true, dude. So what was that moment for you? And it doesn't even have to be music. If it was film or art or video games, we've heard from people too. It's just whatever started that snowball,
I mean, if we're going way back, my very first CD ever gifted to me was a Jessica Simpson CD.
Hell yeah.
It was the album Sweet Kisses. And that was my shit as a little kid.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And then I think the year after I was gifted Evanescence's Fallen, and I was like, oh my god, this is so heavy. I've never heard anything like that.
Right.
And I'd sing along with it. It could not match Amy Lee's voice. She's incredible. I was also a little less kid, and she has a very beautiful tenor voice.
Most definitely. No, I agree.
Yeah, but as far as starting becoming a musician, I was
no. Before you keep going, no, we gotta stay where we're at. We gotta not just becoming a musician, because that comes just because you became a musician because you fell in love with music. So we got to figure out how all that happened first. So Jessica Simpson,
Evanescence.
Evanescence. Okay, so the Evanescence thing was that was the seed to metal for you, right?
Yeah, and alongside Evanescence, I was thirsting for heavier things. I was listening to Linkin Park and System of a Down,
right,
and that snowballed into Slipknot, and then it went drastically into Cannibal
If you don't
Corpse.
mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 31. Jeez, I don't even. It's after I turned 30, I'm I don't even know.
It's kind of a fascinating thing to me, though. It's because we've had so many new metal conversations on the show, and
about time for another one.
Not necessarily really talking about new metal in itself, but talking about it's fascinating to me that it was this blip in time. New metal was really a small, it was a candle burnt at both ends, if you think about it. And as soon as it was here, Murray's just
the best is just the end.
Murray's I haven't been gone.
Yeah.
He's I haven't been in the chat in a while. Let's see what Cali Death is. What's up? And then he fucking comes in here. I'm still talking about new metal. 4 years later. All right. But what's fascinating about it is that it was this blip, and you know, people like Joel and I, we experienced it in our adolescence at the, you know, that another pivotal point in our lives, and that's why we love it. This, at least the stuff that we were listening to then. But what's fascinating is that the new metal still catches generations past me. That it's something that's been kind of done and gone, you know, even though it was a blip, it still finds people like Teresa 10 years later, and she still has that same exact thing that I had during your adolescence with the same bands, but it's 10 years later. So it just, I don't know, that I don't really know why it fascinates me or why that happens and what it is about new metal, but new metal is it's a valid way into extreme metal, guys. So back the fuck off my sandals, yo.
Hell yeah, brother.
Which I actually am not wearing sandals right now. I kind of feel kind of covered up. I'm still in my work boots. I had worked up until basically right before we jumped on this thing. But you know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Yeah, you guys can laugh at it. Yes, there's certain parts that aren't heavy as other things, but it's a valid way. You get a Teresa eventually doing an Emasculator project, and it's the most fucking brutal female project I've ever heard in my life, dude. It literally was like, wow, look at all this brutality coming from these 4 females, and I love it, dude. We'll get to that, but that was me fast forwarding. All right, so new metal was your way in, and then you hit Slipknot. Of course, Slipknot's one of those things. If you're a new metal kid, that's the most heavy shit you've ever heard up until that point, right?
Hell yeah, so fucking angsty.
Totally, and it pairs so well with angst.
Yeah, there's something just like caveman and primal about some of the just like angry parts of like Iowa and self-named title. They're so good.
Yeah, dude, and also listening to those sessions that didn't make it on the album, where it was Rick Robinson, right? Is that who produced the first record? That give me a scream, Corey, and then you just hear Corey fucking scream his lungs up to his throat, and you're just like, yes, here we go.
Hell yeah.
And you're like, fucking Joey's blast beating, dude. Come on now. And he used to be an anal blast for a little bit. Come on, guys. He had his toes dipped in death metal scene. All right. I didn't want to. Now it's just turned into like we're arguing for new metal. But so Cannibal Corpse was the first thing after that, because you mentioned Cannibal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was like a lot of my friends were listening to Cannibal Corpse, and I was like, holy shit, this is crazy. Which was kind of also paired with like, you know, Behemoth, and my brother and I, we had a Comcast cable. Like they had like the on-demand like music videos and stuff. Yep. And so we would like dig through those and just find tons of bands that way.
Hell yeah.
Oh man. So many.
So your brother, how you older brother, you said?
Yeah.
So is he kind of play a part in, you know, getting you into the new metal thing too, or did you find that on your own?
I feel like it kind of, I think I was entered into that through him because he was listening to way heavier stuff than me. So he definitely like, you know, showed the way into like much heavier stuff.
What's an example of a band that he was listening to when you first realized he was listening to more extreme stuff?
I think Slipknot probably was one of the first. Yeah, man. I'm just like,
so he kind of just he led you down the path basically.
And then once I started getting into heavier stuff, we both simultaneously just started to find bands after bands together.
Do you have one band that you brought to him where he flipped out and you kind of felt like, yes, I'm starting to, you know, I'm starting to be the one that's bringing the good shit?
Oh man, honestly, not as often, like I can't really think of, at least especially back in the day, he was mostly the one to just like nerd and dig and find all the bands.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's so
As of
cool to
late,
have a brother that would do the digging for you. Then,
yeah. Hell yeah.
Right on. So then, all right. So Cannibal. So when was Cannibal the actual first death metal band you heard, or was there something else that you came across?
I think so.
Yeah.
Like Cannibal Corpse, Behemoth. Yeah.
When did you come across like-minded people like that? Like your friends? Were your friends discovering it at the same time, or did you end up becoming like part of a social group that eventually that were already involved in metal and listening to it?
It was like middle school, high school. It was like you know, the misfit kids that were all like listening to like, you know, the angsty Slipknot listening kids. We would all like feed each other bands back and forth. And there was a lot of like multi-genre bands going back and forth, like you know, back in the day, like Black Dahlia was so huge to us, and
Mm-hmm.
just, you know, just up and coming, with Miasma being the album at the time. Just
Yeah,
yeah, that
that was a crazy album for me too. I mean, Unhallowed
dude.
was obviously my first introduction, and it's a great album. And that was one of those bands that I saw and heard for the first time in a live setting, which is really cool. But the fall, you know, getting into Unhallowed and then the anticipation for Miasma, and then it
Mhm.
finally comes. And you're already like, this is so sick, because it's the all the death metal albums that I've been buying, you know, over the last however many years, and then it's just like a blurry picture of the Vegas Strip or something is the cover of
So
the album, and you're just like,
sick.
yes, I love that. I love that statement of it doesn't fucking matter what an album cover is, you know.
Hmm.
And actually, that picture could totally be an inside joke for the band. That actually, it's a very meaningful picture for them. We have no idea, you know.
Hmm.
But then, of course, also the content of the album too. You're just like, wow, this is amazing, dude. If you're a fan of Black Dahlia and then they put out that album, you're like, whoa, dude.
Hmm.
All right, that's all I got to say about that. All right, so going through high school. So when's the first time you decided you wanted to play guitar?
So my dad played guitar, and he was like such a like uh he was born in the 50s. He's very like a 70s hippie dude. He listened to a lot of like Led Zeppelin and Jimi Hendrix. So he was like a kind of psychedelic shredder. So he had a Gibson Les Paul just laying around in the house. And one day, he was still at work. I was home from school early, and I was like, I think I'm gonna open up his guitar case. And I just like picked it up, and I just started writing music like immediately. I was just like messing around, kind of made some melodies. I didn't know any chords or anything yet. And I was like looking at the clock. I'm like, oh shit, he's gonna be home soon. I better put his guitar away so he doesn't get pissed. So I like put it back. And he got home from work, and I went to him immediately. I was like, hey, so I was playing on your guitar. I hope you're not pissed. And he was like, pull the guitar out. Let me teach you some shit. Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
So that's how it started. Oh shit.
We left. I didn't even see. So yeah, what's going down? Yeah, totally. No, that's awesome. So
Mhm.
cool. And then what kind of set was it? What kind of guitar was it? Like, I'm just curious.
It's a Gibson Les Paul Deluxe.
Oh,
And it's
sick.
like a late 80s. Yeah, it's a beautiful guitar. It's the guitar I learned how to play on. Yeah,
Nice.
first song he
I
taught me
apologize.
was
He's back.
I was just gonna say real quick, I had to cut away because I'm still at the shop and the air compressor wasn't turned off, so it started making noise. I had to go run and turn it off.
Oh shit!
Sorry, I didn't I didn't mean to get up and leave while you were saying what you're saying.
That's okay.
We don't want to create an OSHA violation.
You guys are already in your corner since I left.
Yeah.
All right.
Color guitar?
Oh, Murray wants to know what color that guitar was.
It's like a sunburst. Yeah. It's just like a light tan.
Like Les Paul. Yeah, sick. That's cool. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So I've always heard the term sunburst, but I've never like picked out what a sunburst guitar is. I've heard people say sunburst, but I've never linked the two. So it's just like a wood guitar. I mean, like a wood tone.
It's a color.
It's not like orange or something like that.
Yeah, it's like when it's like
okay,
kind of like a brighter wood that kind of like I don't know how would you describe it?
I mean, exactly as you described it. Yeah.
It's just a finish. Yeah.
Okay. Was this was the first guitar?
This was me
picking the sunburst finishes on the first one. Okay. Oh, okay. Your dad's guitar. Sorry, I know I'm very unprofessional for me to leave that air compressor on. I'm sorry that I'm like now making you kind of repeat what you were already saying. All right. So did you get into when you decided you want to get your own?
Sorry, what was the first half of what you said? What was the first half of what you said?
When was it when you decided you wanted to get a guitar of your own? Was it that day when you were playing your dad's?
No, I mean, well, I jammed on his guitar for a while. I think I might have played my first house show with it, but he was at the show, like, to make sure I didn't fuck up his guitar. Because that's like the nice, like, older guitar.
Right.
But technically, my first guitar I ever got was gifted to me by an old bass player of mine. Because I did not have the money, and he helped me out. It was like a just stock Ibanez. I don't remember like what exactly it was because I was just like I think 12 or 13. I had no idea of like models or anything like that. I was like, it's an Ibanez. It plays good. And it got stolen at a show. So I played one show with it, and it got stolen.
Fuck.
That was a bummer.
To rewind real quick, you said you played a house show with your dad's guitar. So when do you actually start playing with other people, playing in bands and stuff?
I was like probably 13 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what kind of music was it?
I was like trying to be metal. It was like it was like I don't know, dinky sounding because I had no idea like how to like do tones on guitar, or it was just very like twangy. It was like my dad's old like classic Fender amp. I'm like just trying to push the gain as much as possible. It's like it's like not heavy at all. But yeah.
What was that band? Did you guys have a name?
No.
No.
It was like a birthday show that we played. But yeah, technically my very first band was called Necromantic Decay, which is awful.
I saw that band cited on your metal archives as well.
Yeah.
So was that a high school band as well?
Yes, middle school, high school.
Okay. What'd you guys do with that project?
It was it started off very like kind of melodic, like Black Dahlia worship type stuff, and then we started listening to like even heavier things, and we were just like, oh, let's go to more like death metal direction, and that band turned into Feast, which is also under the metal archives. It's the same band.
See that one as well. All right. And shows, releases, I didn't look into. I looked into Cartilage and Emasculator, and then saw all those and tried out, that M band that I can't remember again.
We'll drop that.
Classic me. But yeah, so I did see those other bands cited though, but I didn't have time to even look to see if there is anything on the internet. Is there anything like a demo on YouTube or something?
Not really. There's just like physical CDs laying around the Bay Area. and friends like
Nice.
who might have bought them back in the day. I have like copies of my dad's like somewhere. Yeah.
That's rad.
Yeah.
Are you proud of it?
Nice.
Actually, recently I was listening to them and I was like, these are charming. Like the structure is actually pretty good, but like the playing is like it's a little rough.
Yeah,
it's cute.
That's cool. That's a definitely a better feeling about an older thing that you've done than completely hating something, which a lot of people have that too. So I'd love to actually sit down with my high school demo right now and see how bad it is.
Hell yeah.
I was definitely the worst part of the band, probably, because they were fairly talented musicians, but I could scream and I could rap, but anytime I tried to sing, whew, it is bad. So
singing's hard.
But that was only on cassette. Isn't that crazy? That even
That's
though
awesome.
I'm only 40, I'm only 40, guys. I'm still young. My first demo isn't even on a CD. It's a fucking cassette still.
That's sick.
Dude, you're
recorded
so cool.
in I know, I'm so fucking sick, dude. Tower of Power's rehearsal studio in San Francisco.
What, it gets even cooler?
Oh, yeah, awesome.
Dude. No way, dude. Sick.
Yeah. Somehow my dad had the hookup with the guy who like worked with Tower of Power, and they let us use that space to record.
That's tight.
On a fucking, one of those
Super
16 tracks with you pop out the cassette as soon as you're done. Boom, there's your master, bro.
Oh man, that's so cool.
Yeah, but it probably sounds like shit. All right, so now it turned into Beast, and how long did Beast last?
Feast. Like a Thanksgiving feast. So Feast.
Oh, Feast. All right, so
yeah.
God, I'm all over the place tonight.
Feast ended like 2012.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and then so this whole time, are you writing for other things on the side, like, or are you just dedicated to one? Well, obviously you're not, because you have multiple projects now, but is that how you've always been, or were you more dedicated to like one project up until you started juggling more things?
Kind of dedicated to one project. When Feast like had died. Oh yeah, Adam said actually one of our last shows Feast opened up for Severed.
Oh, nice.
It was at Oakland Metro. It's the like always like it's the old new location, but it was it's like that small room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Kind of fun. But after Feast died, I wasn't really doing anything. My brother was in a few projects. I was just kind of watching everyone else do shit, and I was like, man, like, I miss being in a band. We started writing. We were just like, man, like, let's make a fucking Exhumed ripoff band. Like, let's just do like gore metal as shit, super goofy, gory, theatrical.
Yeah.
And then Mike and I had just first started dating, and he also like loves gore metal shit, and we were like, let's do it.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When did you guys when did you, or even you or whoever, meet up with Adam? How long when did you guys meet up?
Damn. So I think Mike had jammed with Adam prior to us even starting Cartilage. They were doing like a death cover band. I forget what it was called. I think it was called Voice of the Soul. So Adam and Mike were doing that like death cover band very brief. I think they did literally one jam. So that's how Mike met Adam. And then we were doing Cartilage. We were like recording demos at home, just programming drums. And Mike was like, oh, I should hit up Adam and see if he'd be down. And we went to go to an Ion show at Submission. And it was my first time seeing him perform. And I was like, God damn. He's a very good drummer. we should recruit him. So.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
No, Adam's sick, and also another guest on the show, and
oh yeah, Adam's awesome.
Awesome dude. Yeah, and his videos, I always stop and watch his videos too. They're always fun to watch. He's doing some bomb blast warm-ups a couple days ago or whatever, and I was just like, I could watch this all day.
He's a maniac.
He is, dude, and he's such a nice dude. I love you, Adam, and he's watching right now. He's probably blushing.
Oh, love you, Adam.
I gave you the link tonight, Adam. If you have time to be in the chat on YouTube, you could be on the episode right now.
Hell yeah.
So all right, that was the whole point, was just like exhumed worship. Let's do some
gory
ass fun shit.
He's there.
Yep.
That real talk. Okay.
I'm talking, Adam.
So you're on full screen then.
No.
you
and Mike. So Cartilage was just you and Mike originally.
Me and Mike and my brother. So my brother is the singer of Cartilage.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, and that makes me have to ask some questions about your brother too, because you guys, was he in bands at a young age too, doing vocals?
Yes. Yeah. I don't know how I left that out, but we literally how we even started doing bands together at all is so sorry, I'm going back.
That's okay. That's fine.
When I was first learning guitar, I was just trying to learn covers, just learning Cradle of Filth songs, learning Black Dahlia songs, just trying to jam to whatever. And he was like, he was starting guitar, but then he quit because he was like, Rhea, you're getting too good. Oh, that's my cat, by the way.
What up?
Oh, nice. Yeah. We're first animal of 2025. We love this podcast.
So
I wonder what number feline that is for the show.
Oh, you've had other cats.
Oh yeah, we've had cat fights too. We've almost had Casey. Casey almost got attacked one time too. At Mike Gilbert's house.
Like Travis from Cattle, his cats had a fight. I think that's where it started. Was in Travis's.
Yeah, Travis was the first fight.
Yeah,
but there has been at least one or two, and Gilbert's house was one of them. And you had to be right next to it while it was happening. It was hilarious.
I wanted to see the cat though. Yeah. So
what's your cat's name?
Gigi.
Gigi. Is that short for something, or you just Gigi?
Just Gigi. Yeah, nice. It's from the Hayao Miyazaki film Kiki's Delivery Service. Her like cat familiar is named Gigi.
Is that anime?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's one art form that I see so much praise for, but I still have not yet to dive in and see if I could find. I'm sure there's something in there for me.
There's so much good shit out there.
That's rad. No, I've always been, a fan of animation in general, and I like that there's a very distinct style to anime, and yeah, I think that there's definitely going to be eventually some anime that I'm going to get into. That's the thing, dude, is like I'm also scared to like watch certain things, because then it's like another addiction. Are you just gonna have another addiction to something?
I feel that. There's just too many hobbies.
That's the same reason why
on top of a 9 to 5,
That's the reason why I haven't bought a record player, because I would end up having a wall full of vinyl and empty pockets, because I would totally dive into that nerdism, All right, so you're talking about your brother though, so
yeah. So when I was learning covers, he would do the vocals along with me, and we would just I would just play as loud as I could in the living room through an amp. He would just scream. He didn't have a mic. We would just jam together essentially.
Yeah.
And then it was probably my freshman year of high school. It's when he was like, dude, like he went up to our friend group and was like, dude, I had a dream last night. We were in a band. And like literally from him saying he had a dream that we did a band, he was like, you were on bass, you were on drums, and you were doing this. And like we actually started a band based on
Wow.
that.
And the lineup was the same as the dream and everything?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that stayed afloat for how long did that? That's crazy, dude. The
Yeah.
energy of just one dude's dream can influence 4 or 5 people to
Literally.
reenact the dream in this reality.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. What kind of did he say what kind of music you guys were playing in the dream versus?
I mean, yeah, he was like, "Oh, like we had a metal band, like blah blah." It was just like just blanketed term metal, like whatever.
That's so cool to just get that piece of information and just run with it, you know?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I mean,
So,
yeah.
when was the first jam of the dream band? What was the dream band called, by the way?
Uh, so that band was technically Necromantic Decay, but it was the very first
Oh,
lineup
okay.
of it. And our
Mhm.
first band practice was in our buddy Aaron's backyard. He like set up his drums in the backyard. We had our guitars in the backyard. Like we were all just like outside, but no amps, nothing plugged in. So we're just like playing all
Yeah,
together, but no one
yeah.
can hear anything. We're all just like, yeah, like playing unplugged, and like my brother's just randomly growling. We're like, this is sick.
Just fake it till you make it, dude.
Yeah.
That's rad. But then okay, so that's the first jam, and then that was fun enough to make you guys keep trying. So then
hmm
when does it get a little more serious where you guys are like, all right, we're gonna play loud, we're gonna start writing some music?
So my brother and I had always been like serious about it. Like we were like writing lyrics. We would practice together. We would work on like structure and everything, and then we'd bring it to our other bandmates, and they didn't take it as serious. And then we randomly ran into a friend of ours, Luis, and he was like a killer drummer. And when we met Luis, uh, that's when we actually started to take it serious because he was already in another band, and he had like his garage, which was like a practice space that his mom just let us jam as loud as possible. It was my first instance of being like, oh, I need to wear earplugs because I remember the first
Yeah,
time actually hearing an amp, being like, oh, this my ears are ringing. This is
right, right.
crazy.
Well,
Yeah.
it sounds like you were surrounded by a lot of adults and actually random neighbors and stuff that are always just okay with you guys getting loud
Yeah.
because that's not always the situation. And for you to have that space to be free, even if it is your living room and your parents are letting you crank
hmm
it up and get crazy and just express yourself, that's probably another main piece of the puzzle of why you're a musician today, because you were able to have that freedom in all these different places and
hmm
really explore what it is to playing with other people or just playing your instrument in general.
hmm
Getting That's cool. And that's cool that you and your brother are still, you still got a project still going to this day together too, from hearing your history with your brother.
hmm
Does he play any? Is he still just a vocalist, or does he play any other kind of instruments on the side just for fun, or in any other projects?
So he he picked up drums during quarantine,
Nice.
and with that, he made a project with his partner called postnasal drainage. So it's like
Nice.
a super gore grindy, nasty. Um, I think. Well, no, they said their genre is technically not mints, but it's just like really like obnoxious, like tupa tupa.
Yeah, yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, but it's crazy to see him like literally just start playing drums and building a kit to playing his first shows playing an instrument, and like having to like warm up and be ready for that, and like Yeah,
That's rad.
It's awesome seeing that switch, and he's like, "I'm so nervous." Instead of, he's so used to like just having his mic, but he's like, "I have to set up my drums, and I'm doing this and that," and I don't know,
Right.
awesome.
It is, yeah. It's a whole new way of, yeah. I understand where he would be, because even though you're used to being on stage, you're doing something totally different than you have been up until that point. So it's a whole new thing, really. So now I'm going to do another thing live in front of other human beings right now. I'm going to put myself on blast and be vulnerable for a half an hour set or whatever. And to a lot of people who are pretty judgmental, I'm sure, so it takes it takes cojones to do that.
Yeah.
All right, so that when was there anything in between this and Cartilage, or when did Cartilage actually start?
Cartilage started in 2013. Yeah, so it was kind of like a year after mine and my brother's like first band broke up.
The what is it called again? Necromantic Decay.
Necromantic Decay, which turned into Feast when that band broke up.
Okay, so when Feast broke up, then Cartilage came out of the ruins of that. Whittled down back to the siblings, and the siblings have a new plan.
Yep.
Now it's Gore grind.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And then he already knew about Adam. So when was the first jam? Did Adam drive out to Concord to meet you guys? Or did you come to meet Adam at the space he had his kit?
I took Bart with my guitar over to Daly City. Adam had picked me up, and we did our first jam. I think for some reason Mike couldn't make it. I think it was literally his birthday. So I skipped out on his birthday to jam with Adam. Our first band jam.
That was rad.
But yeah, and then
I mean, not really. So did he take you back? Did you go back to Adam? Did he just have his kit set up at his house or whatever? So you went to Pacifica then?
Yeah. We were. I forget what the studio was, but it was just a studio in SF near the Mission. It was a studio that they'd already had. In fact, Viral jammed there too, and I think they still have their space there.
Is it in actual San Francisco, or is it South City? Was it called Hit Wall?
I don't remember. I just remember there was like a fish factory next door, and it always stunk.
Not Hit Wall.
My computer is tripping out. I crashed and I had to reboot it, but I think I'm all right. So sorry.
No, it's all good.
I'm trying not to. Yeah,
we held it down. Down.
Nice. All right, cool.
Thank you. That's cool. So you Bart with your guitar, hook up with Adam, go jam. What'd you guys do? Did you guys just play songs you both knew and got a feel for each other, or did you already set Adam up with some material before you went?
We had 2 like demo tracks, like just like whatever, like demoed guitar with like a programmed drums, and he just like I jammed to the songs, and he just like went with kind of whatever drum parts that were like programmed or just kind of improvised on it. We also did a couple 1349 covers.
Nice.
Which is fun.
Oh yeah.
I think we did like a Napalm Death cover too, just to like both of us learn a song like to jam that is like a set song,
Cool.
Adam popped into the chat, said it was RHL, which by the way, I don't know if that was the original, but there was an RHL in South City, which was where Severed and Carnivorous shared a room. That's now not a studio anymore, but it is actually down the street from that Hit Wall spot that I was talking about. But yeah, RHL. So it was in SF. All right.
Rock and roll.
So then that was obviously a positive experience because so you hiked yourself back on Bart, hooked up with Mike after his birthday and said, sorry, I missed your birthday. But
now he understood. He's go.
But I did find this guy and he's sick.
Mm-hmm.
We should have him join. That's basically what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And
so then when was the next time that you guys all jammed together?
It was probably shortly after that. Like my brother would Bart out with me, and Mike would have driven at the time because we weren't living together. We were just like young 20-year-old babies.
Yeah.
So we all would like go out to the space, and just jam on the 2 songs that we had, and then from there we just kind of like, oh, like let's jam, let's just write, let's do whatever, and yeah,
nice.
all history from there.
Yeah, totally. And it's a cool history because I mean you guys have several albums and stuff that you've done. You've toured with this band. I mean, Adam now is Mike Hamilton's fill-in whenever Mike can't do Exhume stuff.
It's crazy.
Cool.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
that's
very
cool.
awesome that he like trusts him and he's like just he like trusts him with that. That's fucking awesome.
So talk about your first run with Cartilage, like
oh boy,
mini tour or regular tour, or you guys
so so our first run was like in 2015. I think it was like the summer. It was like a Pacific Northwest run, and I think it was only like 5 or 6 shows. But we were too young to rent a vehicle, so we asked around the community and we like got a buddy, Rob, to lend us his van. And it was awesome. It was working out well. We played Sacramento. We're like, cool, first show down, headed to Portland. And then on the way to Portland, we got into like a mini accident. We're like, fuck, this is not our van. Oh no. And we're like kids. We're like, what do we do? And like, luckily we were super smart and each of us had AAA. So we like, one person would use their towing miles. The next person would use their towing miles from like place to place. We eventually got it fixed enough to take us around. We missed one show on that run, even though we had a broke down van. It was pretty sick. We like pulled it off.
That's cool. And I'm sorry, did you say how long that run was?
It was like, I can't remember. I think it was like 5 or 7 shows, something like that. Okay. Yeah, it was just like up to Portland. I think we had like a show in Bend, a show in Eugene, probably. Yeah.
West Coast.
But it went well, surprisingly well for having a little minor accident.
What other band did you go out with other bands, or is it just you guys and playing with locals?
Just us playing with locals.
Nice. So was that before or after you guys already had a record out?
I think we had the demo out at that point.
Yeah.
There's only 3 song demo. Yeah.
Right on. Oh my god, dude. Okay, I cannot believe this, but I'll be right back. Hold on 1 second.
Oh. So the next step is so what was so you guys had a 3-song demo? Cool.
Yeah, the it's Necrotic demo. Oh, yeah, nice. For the artwork I literally did like it was like my leg, and I did like clay to make it look like there's bones sticking out, and I just threw a bunch of fake blood. So I was like,
cool, dude.
very obsessed with like gore effects and Tom Savini like zombie horror gore shit. So
cool.
I'm gonna DIY this shit. So that's like
rad.
The cover of that demo.
Nice. Are you into like classic like horror stuff, like movies and shit? Like,
oh yeah,
like that kind of makes me think of like Dead Alive, kind of like the first Peter Jackson, or not the first movie he did, but
it's like one of the first. It's so good.
Totally. That's sick. Yeah. We had that dude like Nicola, whatever, that does all that kind of like crazy gore art, and like he does stuff for Cannibal Corpse and stuff now.
Oh yeah.
Nico.
Yeah, that's the fucking homie, dude.
Yeah, that guy's cool, man.
Nico's fucking cool as fuck.
Yeah,
and he definitely he puts a lot of time and effort into his pieces. It's crazy.
Yeah, love it. Yeah,
cool. Yeah, the guitar straps are so sick.
Yeah.
And how cool is that?
Straps? Yeah, totally. Yeah,
that Cannibal like commissions pieces from him before they go out on tour. And I've seen him in person, dude. They're really cool. A lot of detail.
Very gnarly.
A lot of detail.
They had like the skin masks, right? And then they
had
and stuff and everything. It's cool. It's so funny. Yeah, that's cool to like make like physical like art that's like a thing that you would like buy like a mask or something. Right. That's like kind of a really interesting kind of thing to like, or just like film like gore effects. And do you ever watch like nerd out on shows like that? Like what was that one show we used to watch? It was like they would do all these crazy gore effects. Face Off or something, or what was it called?
Oh yeah. Yeah, Face Off is like that competitive one.
It's like a makeup artist
competition
or whatever.
I think we talked about it at some point before, I think, but yeah, that's a interesting show. Yeah. Anyways, so Anthony.
Yeah. With the Cartilage, we were talking about
the demo. So like when you left, we're talking about the 3-song demo. And then we talked about the cover art of that.
Yeah,
that's where we were, right? So
where you guys are like in the obviously or I should say, were you into the gore because of the music, or were you into the gore because you guys were watching gory movies too?
Oh, I was watching gory movies. Ever since middle school, I was like just digging deeper and deeper for like just shocking shit, whether it was like art or film or music. I was very obsessed with like anything George A. Romero, anything Tom Savini touched, a lot of Japanese horror movies.
Oh, dude, I watched Audition recently. Have you?
Yeah, that one's a slow burn. It's like
that's such a great movie. That's like my favorite. I watched Ichi the Killer again. I haven't seen him in like 20 years, but I watched like Ichi the Killer, and then I watched Audition like within a couple weeks of each other, and like I was like, dude, Audition's like a brilliant, it's a perfect movie. That movie's insane, dude. But like
that's a Japanese horror film.
Yeah. Takeshi Miike, whatever, like the director. That's really cool. Like so what's your favorite stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, for like horror movies?
Yeah, of that style or
yeah, obviously it's hard to pick a number one once you get deep down a rabbit hole, but just some of your favorites. Yeah.
I mean, definitely Dead Alive. Night of the Living Dead is like a classic. It's not the goriest, but I do love like the 68 or 69, which is the original, and then the 90s redo. That's that Tom Savini was doing effects on. I love both versions of it. And then Alien is just like my favorite like sci-fi horror. Just
Casey
the Thing.
Of course, Alien.
Yeah, The Thing.
Yeah. The Things. Yeah, so good.
Yeah, love all that shit.
Do you like?
Have you seen The Substance? That
yes.
That shit's
Oh my
insane.
god, that was
Good
my
ass movie.
favorite movie of 2024.
So
It's
good.
so fucking good.
Anthony, have you seen that?
I haven't seen it yet.
Dude,
I want, Bryce and I want to see it together, and right now it's like it's hard for us to get the same time schedule going with the kids, and all, by the time the kids are in bed, it's like
so late.
It can't be movie time now.
Yeah,
totally.
And then on the weekends, yeah. Anyways, but we have that one on our list, and and me personally, I have it on my list too, because you have couples movies that you watch that you have together, but independently, I really do want to see that movie.
Where did the bananas come from?
The bananas are here because the gorilla has shown up. We gotta make sure.
So confused.
You should do that every time I come in late. You gotta throw the first banana back down.
You gotta make sure he's.
How's it going? How you guys talk? Oh God. Yeah, there it is.
Sick. That's a beautiful pairing.
I know, but IPA and bananas goes together. Like,
Joel Horner in the house. What up, dude?
Sweet and savory, dude.
What's up?
Bro. We're just talking horror movies, dude.
Nice.
Yeah.
What talk about like the first? Anybody? Yeah. What's the first truly disturbing film you watched?
Terminator 2, when I was like way too fucking young to watch it.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
okay, that traumatized me because I was crying as he was slowly going into the lava.
Oh yeah,
and that scene's so like, fucking long, and then he gives you the fucking thumbs up at the end, and you're just like, no. How old would you have been? When did that movie? What year did that movie come
out? Man,
94, 95,
91. 91, 92.
Yeah, so
was it 90, I was 5 years old. I was 5 years old in theaters when I saw it.
That's your illusion time, dude.
That's something that like you trip out, like the fact that I like my dad was like, "Hey, you're 5, dude. Let's bring you to Terminator 2."
Yeah, dude.
Century Theaters in.
I saw it in the theaters. I was like 7 or 8, and my sister was 4. My dad took us like it was my mom was not happy about that,
dude. I don't. What was it about our parents' generation, dude? Now I'm thinking about when I'd go over to a friend's house and the mom would make us grilled cheese and then put us in front of the TV, and then she put on Pet Sematary 2, and you're like, and it's like you get to the scene where the crazy, like the sick sister is in the bed, and that's like I couldn't eat grilled cheese for like a year after that, dude, because it would make me think about that scene,
Dude, I watched recently the Amityville Horror, the second movie. Have you guys seen that shit?
I've seen the first one, but not the second one.
I don't think I've seen the second.
Like Jonas was talking about it on the pod, and I was like, I've never seen these Amityville horror movies, And the second one, The Possession, and dude, that shit is fucking gnarly. It's good. It's pretty.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a good movie.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Have we gotten a music yet or anything, or have we? Just kidding. I'm late. I'm the late guy.
No, now you have to try. No, you pop in at this time. You have to have a banana entrance, and you have to immediately get into what we're talking about and tell us.
Oh yeah, music. Yeah, we're talking about movies. Yeah.
Tell us you're a horror film, and then we'll get out of the horror weeds.
Jesus.
What scares you, Joel?
Not horror movies. Not horror movies don't scare me because I always my brain is very like logical, so it's like that's not real. No, I'm not. If it's like a real life, if it's something that's imitating real life or like based on a true story, that's like a messed up story, then I'll be like, all right, that's fucked up. I don't like that. But like when it's like when it's a fiction, I'm kind of like, yeah, it's fiction. It's fun. But
you're talking like monster
super gory or. Sometimes like things like fuck me up where it's like
did you sit through a torture scene and not be fucked up?
No, I mean that's no I'm not like sitting there like loving like people, like I'm not like the irreversible scene. I'm not like that's really cool.
That's just
like I'm not like
I actually wiped that I wiped that movie from my memory.
Yeah. I mean there's certain scenes that are like, dude, that's too far. I don't too far. I get it. I get what you're trying to do.
But that's a different kind of thing.
But yeah, but just like certain movies will be like, will mess with me that are fiction, and I'll be like, all right, well that's because of a scene that's like kind of realistic, and I'll be like, if it's like a Ghost or something, I'm like, oh, come on, Ghosts, like let's hang out. I want like that's my number one thing is like whenever I go to like haunted places, I'm just like, dude, turn off the lights. Let's try to get one and talk to him. That's like,
yeah, actually,
I want to like Dr.
like
Phil
that,
him and just be like, what's going on, dude? What's going on with you? Why are you still here? Is everything all right? What's going on? You know?
Like
support the ghosts.
I read a thing today, so I've never seen the movie Human Centipede. Obviously, everybody knows about it, but
it's a fun one.
The dude who made it, I think his last name's Six or something like that. He made I supposedly, I've seen the trailer too. He made a movie, but nobody will put it out because it's so gnarly, and it's basically the premise of it. If you watch the trailer, it's like a secret group of women who masturbate to like trauma. So it would be like, but the scenes are crazy to where it's like a child being taken away from their parents, or being at lunch with your friend and they say that their husband got into an accident and you have to go to the bathroom and double click the mouse real quick because you get off on this. Even one of the scenes is somebody's dying of cancer and there's a group of women in the hospital masturbating.
Like, gotta flick the bead, like, gotta go.
I can't understand when you haven't released this.
And I actually was literally like very disturbed by the imagery just from this trailer, and I was like, wow, dude, a movie actually, because it hasn't, I haven't had that feeling in a while, but I was just like, whoa, this is disgusting. Especially the cancer patient thing was like, whoa, dude, you're watching, they zoom in on the cancer patient and she's just dying and there's somebody sitting on the bed next to her masturbating, and you're like, fuck, dude, what the fuck is this? The guy who sewed mouths to buttholes now is making them jerk off to fucking the most horrific things you could think of, dude.
Okay, yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ.
So if you own a movie production company, maybe you might want to put that out.
So what kind of guitar do you play?
Currently?
Yeah.
I kind of switch back and forth. I do have my goofy, my little headless Steinberger guy, little hamburger.
A Steinberger or a Stramberg or a Steinberger?
Steinberger.
Oh, dang. Nice.
Yeah.
The old school.
Fun fact, I bought that guitar from Sean Whitaker.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very cool.
Sick.
Back in the day when he was very prevalent on Facebook, he posted that he was selling that guitar, and I was like, that guitar looks sick as fuck. And Mike also had his Steinberger. It was like he somehow got that it was like a used older one. And I was like, oh, if we both rocked headless, it'd be kind of, funny because we're like in a Gore band. Like,
that is kind of fun.
Rocking headless guitars. So yeah, and it's a sick guitar. I love that thing.
Yeah, I remember we were talking to Paul Masvidal, and he was talking about how those guitars have these different. I don't know if yours has the whammy, but like the whammy is like every string is like perfectly pitch perfect whammies with each other, so it's not like just kind of like a spring system. It's everything's perfectly will stay. If you hold a chord and go lower, everything's still be in tune, and then come back out of it, kind of a thing. That's what he was like all about back in like the 90s and stuff. But I don't know. It was like a proprietary bridge or whatever that he was using. But yeah, no, those things are cool. They're tiny.
Is there a different musical term for whammy? Like it's a bar that does a whammy, but is that like taking the tension out of the string? Is there an actual musical term for that?
Is it dive highly?
It's a dive highly.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a whammy bar. It's a whammy bar. I don't know.
I know, but it's like if you were to say somebody, okay, and then you do a wham there, you wouldn't say a wham. You would say.
We could come up with another name, dude, like a whammo.
So the purpose of a whammy bar is to drop the key.
Yeah. If it's a Floyd Rose, it goes higher too. So you can go hey, right. You can go
pull
higher
it out, and it actually stretches.
Yeah, it's a spring system. It's like this thing that's holding all
kind
the
of toggles on it with springs on both sides.
Yeah.
Some people actually do refer to it as a tremolo arm.
Yeah,
tremolo arm.
I just
tremolo is always tripping me out when people say tremolo. I'm always like, is it tremolo or what's going on?
Yeah, I say tremolo.
It's like,
hey, bro, tremolo is what I always thought.
Hey, bro, do you even tremolo? Like, what's up?
And then, yeah, I think one of my buddies was just like, no, dude, it's tremolo. Like back in the old day, and I'm like, we got like an argument about it. I'm like, I'm just looking at the word. It's tremolo. But tremolo. I mean, the olo. I see. I can see where you got there.
Pronunciation.
Oh, if it's tremolo, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Yeah, actually, a few guitars that I play regularly. I have like a Randy Rhoads Jackson.
Nice.
That I really like. That one has a Floyd on it.
It's tremolo.
Tremolo.
Sorry. I just said I looked at Google and it says the pronunciation.
Is it potato or tomato?
I think I got tremolo. I got tremolo from you, Joel, because you like.
Oh, it's probably. I get stuck on words that are tremolo. No, it's wrong.
Well, you're telling
Teresa just made me think this. When you hear the term tomato, have you ever heard anybody say tomato in your life?
Nah.
Like, if anybody said, "Can you pass the tomato sauce?" Wouldn't you look at them like they were fucking crazy?
Tremolo.
I would.
All right.
Trapani.
So where were you guys at besides movies and
Cartilage?
Stuff? Yeah, Cartilage. Fucking rad.
They did their first run. They broke down once. They missed one show, but they made it through it, and it was a good experience.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that was by themselves with just locals too. So that's pretty ballsy too, to go out for your first run just by yourself and book it all yourself and just rely on local bands to fill out the rest of the night with you.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys
any cool local bands that you remember from that trip where you were like, oh shit, these guys are actually dope?
Fuck, it was so long ago. I don't really remember. I remember like our second Pacific Northwest run up, and we did it with Succumb, which was awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, those
nice.
Rule.
Oh yeah.
Now I'm trying to remember openers for us, dude, and all I can remember is Embalmed, because I said give it up for an embalmer, dude.
I remember Terminator. There's a band called Terminator. It's like, we're Terminator from Ohio, and I was like, well, that's straightforward. I like that.
It is kind of cool.
But yeah, did you go through the whole musical history thing? Sorry, I'm an hour late.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, we're through it. Sure, it was their dad's guitar that sparked the thing, and then had the high school bands, did that, and now Cartilage. And Cartilage
is Cartilage from the high school?
No, it was after high school for sure.
Okay.
Were you feast for a little bit and then?
Okay.
Yeah, Reef wants us to talk new metal some more.
I saw that.
Oh yeah, you missed the new metal talk tonight, dude. Sorry.
It's old metal now.
And of course, in Murray fashion, he was already like, "What the fuck?" No, but actually, I am going to say that. But I want to ask Joel this question: what do you think it is about a genre like new metal, which was a burn at the both ends of the candle thing that just blipped? But she's 10 years younger than us, and she still went through it at the same age, and it was with those same bands. So it's like, even though it was this blip, it still is a entry level of metal that eventually gets to where we're at today.
Oh, you know? Was it with like Slipknot and stuff?
Yeah.
Was it? Okay. Because like
Evanescence up to Linkin Park and Slipknot.
Yeah. Because those bands have always been pretty. I mean, Evanescence kind of waned off, but like getting deep into new metal, like Seven Dust and like American Head Chart and stuff like that. That's where like. Yeah. But a lot of these other bands, like Slipknot, has inspired so many people to get into extreme metal. It's been like it's been a constant in all metal, and calling them new metal is a little weird compared to how new metal-y some bands were. And then just being like, you're just that too. You know, it's like you're head PE, dude. You're totally a non-point. You're you know what I mean? So like to kind of lump them in, I think they're like kind of pop death
conspiracy theory, you know?
Yeah.
Who had PE? No,
I mean they were. No. I'm talking Slipknot. Slipknot's like more like popular like death metal, but they had like, they weren't. They got you kind of like saddled in there. You can understand a lot of the lyrics. You can, a lot of the beats were, a lot of the songs were, not simple, but they had like, kind of the structure of like more of a pop band. But they still had
it was structured, and they were still feeding us like new styles when we didn't even realize it. Like that may have been one of the first blast beats that we heard. Yeah.
I mean, for me, it was probably like SOD and stuff, but yeah,
you
for
were
like
in SOD first. Oh
yeah, I remember hearing like what actually I remember being on the bus in high school and being like, dude, this band is growling and rap like a rap growl. I was like, on that band song Spit It Out on their first album. I was like, what the they all wear masks, and like at the time no one knows who they were.
That music video was fucking cool, dude. It was The Shining. It was
that's right. Yeah. I remember just buying that VHS for like $5 at Sam Goody, and then probably like a year later they got super popular, and I went back to Sam Goody and it was $35.99. It was like, oh, we can actually market this now. But no, the new metal thing, yeah, that's interesting to be like. So before new metal, what were you listening to?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
We're making her go way back in time again.
I mean, I was listening to like a lot of stuff that my parents were listening to, like obviously like the Beatles, Led Zeppelin.
Well, we actually didn't talk about that, which I'm interested in that.
Yeah,
that's what were both your parents listening to kind of the same thing, or did they have their own taste as well?
They were kind of listening. They listened to a lot of the same stuff, but my dad was just like, he was like party dude, so he always like was jamming on his amp. He'd have friends over. He's like wailing on like Jimi Hendrix and stuff, and I was just like surrounded by that as a kid.
So did you? And I actually never asked you with your dad's guitar. Was he in any bands, or what? Did he just have it just to mess around at the house?
He was in like a brief project in high school. It was like called like MGM or something. It was just like the first initial of each band member's name, which is really cute. There's 2 Marks and forget the other guy's name, maybe Gary Dave. Or something. Yeah. But yeah, he had like a high school band. They would play house shows, but nothing any more than that. So when he saw my brother and I like pursuing music and actually playing around and doing a bunch of shows, he was like, "Oh shit! Like you guys are like doing it way harder than I did." Yeah.
How did your dad react to the because my dad same kind of thing, like musician for fun kind of thing, and would take bass lessons. And I remember going to bed and hearing him taking bass lessons in the living room and stuff like that, and then jamming with some like local bands. But and then all of a sudden I'm like, "Hey Dad, check this out!" Like like check out this like extreme style of music. Like, how does your dad react, or your the older folks in your life react to it's kind of the extreme thing for the first time hearing it?
Yeah, he was like he said like, "Oh, my dad said that the Beatles was noise, but what you guys are listening to, that's noise." And I was like, fair enough.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. Do they go like, what are they saying? Do they do that?
Yeah.
That's classic.
Oh, yeah. 1000%.
Yeah.
That's a good classic one.
But like the parents of the Beatles kids are like, what are they saying? It's like, I love like you. Yeah.
So Teresa, now since we're on a rewind, what hospital were you born at, and when did your parents meet? I'm just joking. I'm joking. Let's stop the rewind. Let's get back forward into
all right. Yeah, totally.
Where we were at with Cartilage. Yeah. So you came back from that run, and when was? And I forgot. Sorry if you mentioned it earlier. When was the first like recording for Cartilage?
Like our first demo, we recorded it just at our band practice space, and then we had it mixed by Jack Shirley. And then
did you record it? What'd you record it on at the rehearsal spot?
It was just like a friend of ours, actually Adam Adam's at the time bandmate Ryan from Ion, he helped us record it, just just in our room. Like we did like, drums first and then guitars. Yeah, just in the space.
That's cool. Hey.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better than having to try and do a live recording.
Discogs right now. He's got some pretty.
Jack Shirley.
Sorry,
I'm
on a delay.
I'm sorry.
I'm having a. I say something and you guys respond like 10 seconds later. I'm in the right now. We're in the middle of a storm right now, and there's like the trees are going everywhere, so my internet and the mountains suck. So I'll talk to you guys every 10 seconds. You're all still right now,
and your lips aren't even linked to your audio either, too. See.
No,
see how long it took him to get it?
Yeah.
All right. Well, where were we? Oh yeah, Cartilage again. So recorded that in the rehearsal studio, and did you guys just pass those around record labels, or were you selling them at shows or anything, or giving them out at shows? And
both. We did our tapes through Transylvanian Tapes.
Oh, okay.
Which is awesome. This the first time I'd ever seen a release of mine in a record store. It was in 1-2-3-4 Go, and I was like, "Look, it's our band." It's really
cute. That's a cool feeling, right?
Yeah.
It is definitely a cool feeling, and yeah, still to this day, even though record stores suck now, and I've already talked about the depressing trip I took to Streetlight in Santa Cruz.
Oh.
It's cool to still, at least be like, it might still be here.
Yeah.
But it's usually in the U section.
Yeah.
And the metal section is like 2 rows now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. And then with the tape, did that get any, what was the first like legit release you guys did?
Our first album was Dialect of the Dead, and it had a couple of the demo songs re-recorded, and we did that through Earhammer with Greg, because we'd been introduced to Greg just through the scene and playing a ton of shows around, and playing around Oakland a bunch, SF. Yeah, so we got connected to Greg that way, and that was like our first like legit release. Yeah. And
did you guys tour that record too?
We did. That was the tour. That was like the run that we did with Succumb.
Okay.
Which it was just like a Pacific Northwest again, because we were like, well, we know what's familiar up there. We know people up there, so we'll just book that like just ourselves.
Right. I think that's in general, the coasts are always good to you. If you if you stay on the coast, you could do a pretty decent mini run. It's when you get in between, here in Texas, some of those shows start to drain the gas and change the menu when it comes to food,
Sure.
And then you get to Texas, and then you're like, all right, we got the Baton Pass. We got a little, energy boost to get us over to the other. If we could get to the East Coast, then we're going to be good.
So with one thing, I'm just pulling up the just looking at your metal archives. So you're with Rob Muldrotha? I never.
We already talked about it. You just jammed with them.
Cool, dude.
Yeah, I just jammed with Rob like really briefly, because we're like kind of neighbors. I don't know if he still lives in Pleasant Hill, but yeah, we were homies like for years, because Feast had done a run with Belusion back in the day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's becoming a running bit, dude, where Joel shows up late and then he's asked about everything we already talked about.
What got you into music though? Like, sorry.
Yes.
No, that's cool. I always see Rob, I've been friends with Rob for like 10 15 years or something, and seeing him
post his
guitar videos, it's like very chill. I mean, it's not chill, but like he has a very solid style that I like Just every time he posts a video, I'm like, I'm gonna watch this. Just I like his picking. I'm just like,
his picking looks so relaxed, and I'm like, it's so defined and like heavy,
controlled.
but it's just so controlled. I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
I know.
I feel like I strain with my picking hand like constantly.
Yeah, definitely. No, he has a great picking hand. No, that's awesome. That's cool. So, is there any even though you already talked about it, any plans like because 2021 was the last release, right? So, is there any other plans with them?
Oh, for Muldratha or
yeah.
Oh, I have no idea. I don't know what they're doing.
She didn't.
Yeah, so you didn't cover that.
You didn't hear it?
Yeah. So yeah.
I like literally
she's not
learned like
really
a couple songs.
Well, it says present.
I wasn't
now,
on any.
Dude,
I don't know.
No, we already talked about. She
wasn't
Joel, officially.
We already talked about this.
Anthony, I'm just gonna mute Joel right now. It's cool. I got it. Got it handled.
No.
And,
all right. Just so you're up to date, Joel. She jammed.
I was saying stuff while I was muted. I thought I was muted.
I muted Joel. I did it.
She just jammed with them a couple of times. She's not on any of the releases. Never played any live shows with them or anything.
Weird. Yeah, it gives you a lot of credit on here. So
I know it's kind of a running joke. I'm like, oh yeah, all this shit I did, which like I did not at all. I don't even know who like added me on there. Whatever.
I'm gonna one of us is gonna add you onto another album that doesn't exist to be like, dude, she's on that new one in 2026 that came out.
all the secret dudes that run that site, dude, they're usually pretty accurate with their information too.
Yeah.
So whoever has like, I don't know, admin powers on that, if someone could change that for me, that'd be great. Because I've never done anything with them.
Please help a lady out.
Help.
And also list all of her AKAs so everybody knows who she is.
All of the names.
Oh yeah, see that Rhea Wallace, Teresa Wallace, Teresa Flory. Okay, yeah. So the three, you have three.
Yeah. Well, I actually have like many nicknames. My mom like lazily so Rhea is my nickname, and then she'll call me Ray sometimes. Ray turned into Wee, and then my close family calls me Wee Wee.
Nice.
So Wee Wee is another nickname. Like a regular Wee.
I knew there was more.
Yeah.
That is funny.
Better than banana.
You name a kid and then you just call it or them something different. You like all we did was just take the first syllable of our kids' names and say it twice.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be for Dominic, it's Dom Dom. We just call him Dom Dom.
No.
Yeah.
So your aunt?
Like no. I'm motherfucking dad, dude. That's what I am.
Dada.
Oh, yeah, I guess they do.
Yeah. Aunt. Yeah, that would be fucking weird to say my name twice.
I'll just be like double A or
And you're just Joel because you are just one syllable.
Joel. If you pronounce it like that, I'm just JoJo.
There you go.
And a Casey and JoJo right here.
Casey and JoJo. What? Tell me it's real. The feeling that we feel.
I like this.
All right, guys. Well, you guys.
I've got a limp mic. Sorry, guys. Hold on.
You're just following me. Yeah, dude.
Got a limp mic.
Tighten up that limp mic, dude.
I got it. Yeah, it gets all.
It sounds super sick when you do that.
All right, sorry. Continue.
All right.
Proceed.
Yeah, I want to know. Like, okay, so Cartilage has the lineup always been the same? That's something I didn't.
It's kind of varied. It's most of the rotating members has been the bass player, and then Mike had briefly left Cartilage because he had a little bit of like a tendonitis type injury. So and he also took like a little bit of a break with logistic because of that, like not playing any shows, just trying to like kind of diagnose and figure out what happened. Had like sort of a tendon thing. So when he was taking a break from Cartilage, we had our friend Michael Chavez from Hemotoxin be in Cartilage for a little bit. but then he wanted to leave after I think it was a year or two. He was jamming with us, playing shows and stuff. That he wanted to take Hemotoxin much more serious, and that band's fucking killing it right now, also. But Mike at that time was starting to feel more, having a better grip on his injury and knowing how to like practice better with it and living with like the sort of, I don't know if it's like a tendonitis thing or a nerve issue thing, but
yeah. You just got to kind of like relearn with the new, a new thing that he had. I mean, is that like you would have to make changes, right? But also you think about like people who have, injuries that end up changing other things because you're using certain muscles or you're straining certain muscles that you aren't normally strained in doing something normal. So is there other things that could happen from playing guitar with his injury because he's playing a different way?
Yeah, definitely learning how to like practice like playing softer, which is the thing. And I think that goes for a lot of death metal players. Like I'm always striving to be softer on my picking hand because you play shows and you're playing really intense music. You want to beat the shit out of the strings, but you're gonna fuck up your forearm muscles and you're like this shit. Like
that part.
Dude, it's
yep.
I have like crazy tense shoulders, like from headbanging for years. Like it's like it's brutal.
No, for sure. That's like that's like one of those things. If you don't work out and you're on stage and you're like, whatever, or don't like stretch it out, and you're just like, I'll just go do the shit, and all of a sudden like this starts seizing up, and you're like, I gotta start like doing like, and then like I know my internet, the wind is bananas here. So that strain is hard.
No, it is, and I've also noticed doing a live performance at our age and not doing them for a while. I was trying to be zen as much as I could too, because I knew if I got too into it, I would gas out quicker.
Oh yeah.
Especially with only jamming with the band twice before we played, and all the other times I was just running through the set in the car while I'm driving, and you can't really get a feel for live performance when you're sitting on your ass in traffic. So it was a strange but still fun thing with Texas. But yeah, I definitely was trying to be as mindful as I could of not losing any lung power or energy, which I still did. I did, but it is what it is.
It's easy. You just get in the moment,
Yeah, and it still felt really good, and made me realize, oh yeah, I enjoy this a lot.
Yeah, that was so sick. I don't know if y'all saw me. I was right in front, just fucking headbanging with my buddies. I was next to Randy the whole time, and he was just like, "Fuck you!" Like, just like,
shout out Randy.
You guys. And I'm like, "Shut the fuck up, Randy." Dude, it was so good.
Yeah, I was super cool to see Randy there too. He's always the life of the party, Randy. He's gonna enhance your experience if he's involved. But yeah, no, it was cool, and it was a great. I'm sure you guys had a similar experience, but it was just cool to see all these people out to see some sick underground shit, dude, and that was a cool venue, and the way that whole screen was set up behind us and all that stuff, that was pretty cool. And Miguel did a great job, like setting it up, and I just felt like all the bands were in a cool mood. Like every band that I met was nice and awesome people, and it was just like, yes, dude, this is what it's all about. This is what it is all about. And you guys fucking tore it up. I didn't get to I watched a lot of the stuff afterwards because we were so busy in the jam space,
Oh yeah, understandably.
we missed most of the fest because of that, but we just really wanted to, make sure everything was as good as we could possibly get it for getting together 2 days before the show,
Yeah.
And but yeah, I watched footage from afterwards, and yeah, everybody that I saw in person and everybody I saw on video afterwards, everybody was killing it. It was yeah, a treat for sure.
Nice.
I don't even how do we even get on to Texas, but
yeah.
We're all over the place on this one.
Oh, by the way, Joel texted me his power is out, so
okay, so the banana is
he lives in the middle of the jungle. I mean the mountains. He's just complete. Yeah, so there's like a big, I don't know, storm or something going on. So we saw the internet fluctuating, and then now power's out. So sorry,
the power's out. The power's out in his nest. I mean house.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's what
in the jungle. It's hard in the jungle.
It's called a nest, right? The gorilla's nest. Yeah.
Is it really? Is it called
nest?
Okay. Well,
they're ground dwellers. They just like hang in bushes, and it's dude with all of his chicks, and he just walks around and eats fruit and beats his chest, and it's pretty sick, dude. Joel has a great life, dude.
All right, so back to the story. What we were talking about.
We were still working on Cartilage, because I mean, how long was Cartilage? When did you? And I'm sorry I didn't do like the deep dive and find out all this stuff, but I'd like to find this stuff out in person too, or in the now. How did Emasculator start? Because it was, and also there's another I don't know what's weird about it, but on Metal Archives somebody from Prague was in the band, but then I look at all you individual as players, and I didn't see anybody that was from out of the country. Which members from Prague or was
Malika, our singer?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but she lives in the States now?
She's from the States, so she's from Boston, but she lives in Czech now.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
That's what it was, because it said that the country of origin was the United States and Prague, and but then I was looking at everybody and
you're
all
like,
you.
What?
Yeah, like what must have been like a member that isn't in it anymore or something like that. But okay, so that's cool. And then but what year was that? How far into the Cartilage did you guys or gals start putting this project together?
So in 2019, Cartilage played Obscene Extreme, and that in itself is kind of crazy because we literally just like emailed Chirby. We're like, "Hey, can our shitty little local band play your awesome festival?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." We're like, "Oh fuck!" Like he said yes, so we like actually have to buy tickets and go.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did Obscene Extreme, and I met Malika. Actually, further back, I filled in for Dreaming Dead for a tour. It was like the Kingdom Disdain tour with Morbid Angel. So on that tour, prior to that run, I had recently, maybe a year into it, I had just turned vegan, and at the time, Malika's Instagram name was The Touring Vegan, and I followed her, and I was like, oh, like awesome, badass woman vocalist who's vegan and tours regularly with Abnormality. I was like, oh, like I should pick her brain. Like, how do I just survive in the Midwest, like being a vegan girl? Like, I don't know. This was my first big girl tour. And so she like was super gracious and messaged me back, and so I got acquainted with her that way. And then we played Obscene Extreme, and I saw her in person because Abnormality was playing same day. And so I took a picture with her. I was like, hey, like I'm the chick that messaged you. She's like, oh, that's so sick. So we got connected again there. And then fast forward in 2021 during the pandemic, she like messaged me, was like, "Hey, so do you want to start an all-female death metal band? Like, what are your like favorite like brutal death bands? Like, you want to do some shit with us?" And I was like, "Yes." Yeah. So, yeah. A lot of weird little ties into it.
So then, all right. So what was the next like steps into that though? Did she say just start, writing some riffs, and
Yes.
did she, and she kind of just put it all together? She brought in some, so it was her brainchild, but she called up a bunch of you and said, "Let's do this."
Pretty much.
Nice.
Yeah, immediately as she hit me up, we talked like via Facebook video chat, just like about musical influences, what intentions we'd want to do if we had done a brutal death metal band together, like style-wise what we wanted to do. And we all like were naming a lot of the same bands back and forth.
I'm curious to hear a couple of those bands.
Gorgasm is a big one.
Nice. I could tell on the vocals.
Yeah, Defeated Sanity, Severed Savior. Yeah, like I love Sean Whitaker's projects, Viral Load.
Hell yeah.
Insidious Discrepancy.
Most definitely.
Very heavy, groovy. Yeah. So we're like, yeah, that after that phone call, I like immediately I think I was dog sitting at the time, so I didn't have a guitar on me, but I just like had my laptop and I just opened up Guitar Pro. I'm like, just write something sick, just write something sick. And I like sent her over something immediately, like an MP3 of that, like, that Guitar Pro. She's like, oh, this is like pretty cool. And yeah, that was the start of that song, Age of the Goddess. Yeah.
So is the stuff that you wrote on Guitar Pro, do you play it the same way you wrote it, or did you change it eventually?
I changed it eventually. I'm like, some of the stuff is like impossible, but I just like like I sometimes like to write on Guitar Pro and just have like the fretboard like visualizer thing on there, and I'm like, okay, does that look doable? Okay, I'm just gonna fuck around with this, and like I like writing shit and then learning it later. It's kind of like oh, this sounds sick, can I play it? Yeah.
Nice.
I would do it because the Odious guys, the Severed guys, Carnivorous guys, they would all write their stuff back in the day on Power Tab. And so I had to get the Power Tab program to hear what they were writing. All these 8-bit Severed Savior riffs and stuff. Well, since I had the program, I started messing with it myself, and it is so fun, even though I'm totally making stuff that is completely inhuman. It's just, it gets the sparks flying, and you start to like want to create things because you have this easy program where all you got to do is just click buttons and and all of a sudden you got this riff,
Wait. I actually heard that's how a lot of Flesh Consumed was written. The singer, I think his name is Corey. He would just like guitar. Like, I don't think he played guitar, but I think he just like Guitar Pro'd whatever the fuck, and he's like, here, learn this. And it was just like crazy impossible riff.
Corey used to come by our Odious jam space when we used to jam at the storage unit, Casey. He came by a couple of times, and
for sure.
He was like the first dude that I saw wearing a Cryptic Implosion t-shirt in person.
Hell
I was like, fuck, dude, I don't even have one of those,
Yeah.
I've only seen a handful of them in my life, it's actually pretty cool.
That's so sick.
This is a question here.
Has your work ethic with guitar playing and playing in bands helped in your discipline and work ethic for working out? Oh, okay.
Yeah. I know Freddie. We like go back and forth because I'll like make like gym posts and stuff. Yeah, I've actually talked a little bit with Sasha. Freddie. Yeah, like I don't know. It's fun like being able to like talk to friends in the scene about like weightlifting and stuff. I like kind of ironically got into weightlifting after a Cartilage did a tour with Gruesome in 2022. Because like while we're on the road, we're just kind of joking, like, "Oh, haha, like how sick would it be if we all were like muscular in the band?" Like it's just like so like heavy metal, just like wearing like all the like pleather and being like ripped and like chains and shit. Like it's just so heavy metal to be like muscular, and that like just kind of stuck with me. And I was like, I should actually start lifting weights. But it has made like loading in and out so much easier. It makes like my job so much easier. Like being able to lift amps and shit, and like it's awesome. Feels good. But
that's cool. Nice.
I totally support. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I thought you were finished. I was just going to ask you another question, but if you're still answering a question, then I need to shut up.
Oh no. I was trying to get into answering Freddie's question. I think it's probably opposite. I think like my discipline when it came to music helped me into my discipline into working out. Just having like that mindset, the headspace to like just get shit done. Like it's like, oh fuck, like I want to learn this like legato riff. I just gotta like just put the just put on a metronome. That's the word. Just like set the metronome like slower BPM. Just fucking drill it over and over. It's like kind of like I can see that discipline translating a lot.
Yeah, I mean, starting slow. I mean, the way that I see that, to make the metaphor comparison in my head, would be like starting slow with a riff would be just like getting correct form with a technique or a lift. Starting slow and knowing how to squat or bench press or curl or whatever, do a push up, a pull up, a jumping jack. If you're only hurting yourself if you're not doing it correctly. So do it slow, get your form correct, and then you build it up into where you keep improving and getting better and better with the workout or the riff.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So my question, if you're not, unless you have more to add, sorry.
No, go for it.
And by the way, this is how things happen with me. I do this in a room that has no lights that work, and I use flashlights basically all around the room to light the room. They slowly die out throughout the episode.
Wait,
so
every time you see flashlights?
Yeah, dude. I have the most ghetto setup. You guys would
when you're at the shop.
Yeah, I'm at a fucking automotive shop right now.
I did not know until now you're using flashlights.
But yeah, I'm noticing now, like, look at how darker it is
it's
compared
like
to how I was in the beginning. Yeah,
I know, dude. Fucking metal.
I'm still here, guys. Though my voice isn't getting darker.
Yeah. Anthony's at the auto shop. Dude,
but my question. I'm sorry. Were you finished? Is that? Okay.
We just got diverted into the.
My question was just to add to that, which is, what's it like being a vegan who works out? Because my question to you would be, how do you?
Where do you get your protein?
Exactly.
That's always the question.
But I'm not saying that in a bad way, because I actually, Casey was vegan. I lived vegetarian, vegan for a while. And when I did it, I didn't really have the knowledge that I have now about food. And now with what I know, I think I could do it correctly. It just would take a lot of work and planning and prepping and all that. And then once on top of, just getting your daily intake, then working out on top of that, so it's, I was just curious as to how you handle all that.
Yeah, it's definitely a huge learning curve. When I first started out, I wasn't even really like measuring food or anything. I just was like just eating whatever. But then I realized like, okay, so like building muscle, you need to like really maximize on protein, and obviously like doing more and more research, watching more and more videos, like eating like a certain amount to your body weight as far as like grams in a day.
Right.
It's like figuring out that math And then
yeah, I know that's the tough one sometimes, because it's also like lean body mass versus this and that, and you're just like, okay,
it's like a
so I
whole
gotta,
other thing. Like,
yeah. And then what is it like? Was it 3/4 of a gram per pound or something they say?
Some shit
Or maybe
like
if you're working out, maybe it's a gram per pound of lean body mass.
Yeah. I just I don't know, when I first started like bulking, because I was just like, oh, whatever, like I'm gonna eat like as much protein as I can and do my research, like what starches are better in protein, lower calorie. Like, so I started doing a lot of like soba noodles, like they're super high in protein and lower calorie. Eating a ton of tempeh, which is like lower calorie, very high protein. Just eating whole blocks of tofu a
Hemp,
day.
hemp seed? You use hemp seed?
Seeds. Yeah, I use hemp seeds in like smoothies and stuff. I work at a vegan coffee shop too. Shout out to Rooted. But yeah, I work at a vegan coffee shop and I get like a free meal, which is an awesome perk. Is try to utilize what they have there. They have a lot of like chickpea stuff, so yeah, a lot of tofu.
and there are certain, if you look into it, there's certain foods that have that in combination become a complete protein, you know. Like there's certain things that have, because I think to be a complete protein, something like 27 different amino acids or something like that. I forget how many it is, but and certain foods have some of the 27, and then this food has the other. So if you put them together, you end up with the 27 all together, you know. I think rice and beans is one of those classic combinations. If you eat rice and beans together, you're getting pretty close to a complete protein. But I always that when I was snooping your profiles and stuff, I did see that you were not only vegan but you worked out, and that was one of the questions that I did want to ask you tonight is, how you supplement while you're working out, because if you're not doing that properly, then the working out isn't doing what you're not getting the results that you want to get. And
I actually tried getting into like fitness like in 2018, and this was around the time that I was like touring around with Dreaming Dead. But prior to that tour, I was working like 80-hour work weeks. I wasn't sleeping at all. I was just going to the gym a lot, and I was like, like I'm trying to build all this muscle, but I'm just so lean because I like wasn't sleeping, I wasn't resting. There was no way to build muscle on a like just exhausted body. So I was like a twig. And I was like, yeah, like I'm doing awesome. I'm working out, but like was
not only were you a twig,
muscle.
but you were not only were you a twig, but you were injuring yourself, because that's really what a workout is. You're causing damage when you're lifting weights and doing all that. It's the protein plus the rest, and the sleep. What you mentioned is the sleep is the main thing, because that's where we recover, that's where we rebuild. And if you're not sleeping, then you're not rebuilding and recovering from the damage that you made, so you're just making damage.
So that was insane to like learn from. And like when I started doing it back in like 2023 of spring, I'd like started lifting weights, and I started really low, like really small weights, just kind of working out to videos, just trying to kind of get it starting along. And once I started like figuring out like really good technique and having a consistent schedule, that was when I was like, fuck it, I'm going to sign up for a gym membership. And that's when I started like seeing like rapid muscle growth, because I was like, oh, like there's much more weights I can have access to, like heavier and heavier weights. Yeah. Hell yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I just want to add one more thing to what I was saying earlier. So the damage that you're making, you're actually tearing your muscles. That's what you're doing when you're lifting. You're tearing your muscles apart. And so think of like a cracked sidewalk, and then you have to fill all the cracks with new cement. That's the protein, but the cracks don't get filled if you don't go to sleep, and you don't get a lot of sleep. Sleep is very important. I get mad at myself if I get less than 8 hours. You know,
listen to your body, dude.
Huh? Yeah. Listen to what?
Like my dad would always say, "Listen to your body." You gotta,
dude.
You know. But like work just is like we don't care about that. You know.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're not sleeping and you're eating a bunch of bullshit and all that stuff, you can't hear your body. That's noise that you're making to where you can't hear your body talking to you. Your body's like, "Hey, dude," it's too busy hearing the noise of a double bacon cheeseburger going down your throat.
Yeah, that's actually another thing that, now all of us in Cartilage are in our 30s, like being like regular touring musicians, and with how much we all work, we all live in the Bay Area. We're like, we all work our asses off out here because it's so expensive, and we want to do our hobbies. But like, we're trying to, at least like on tour, we're bringing like our massage guns. We're bringing like our little like red light therapy pads, like drinking tons of water, like
love it.
Like all 5 of us usually drive. So it's like, if one person's like, oh, I'm gonna have a night where I'm gonna drink a little, like we all like rotate, like we all try to sleep as much as possible and try to eat healthier. Like Keenan and I, our bass player, he's also vegan. The last run we did, he and I did like our own little like grocery outlet like meal. It was like almost like backpacking food. Like we prepped a bunch of stuff. Yeah. And we're like, wow, like we didn't spend money at any Taco Bell, which is usually a vegan friendly option.
Yeah, that's actually, I was gonna say how much Taco Bell, because
dude, on desperate nights Taco Bell, but like now that we have this little system, it's like we bring these like, things that we can microwave, things we could just add hot food to, or like canned soups, whatever. Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's smart. I mean, it's more difficult for a vegan to be out on a tour, but it still can be done if you want to put in the effort. It's just more effort, but yeah, I definitely see the obstacle that it makes, because David, Casey, when we
Paul from Cynic,
Paul's a vegan too, but we did have, and actually I think that we went to one place, Casey, when Richard was living, was it in Seattle? Was he living in Seattle while we were on bloodletting?
Yeah.
I think
sounds
so.
Right. Yeah.
And that day we went out, or we stayed at his house the night before, or his apartment, and then we went for lunch somewhere, and I had something with, what is it, seitan? And I was like, whoa, dude, this was crazy. Exactly. I know, it's the most metal vegan food you could ever buy. Dude.
Hell yeah.
It's awesome.
But yeah, I've had a few vegan dishes where I was like, if somebody served this type of, or cooked any kind of vegan food this way, I'll eat it all the time, dude.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm always trying to defy a ton of classic Filipino recipes, because I'm half Filipino. So like, a lot of classic Filipino dishes are very like meat and rice heavy, and like my mom's always like, oh, I don't like your vegan food.
Yeah.
But like I'll like take a classic dish and I'll like very authentically make it. And she's like, this is good. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, that's actually, that's a win right there, if you get your mom to enjoy it after she says something like that. Yeah, I've had
this happening to me too, man.
It messes with your stomach.
Yeah, I like can't do that shit either. Like I was like trying recently to kind of do like a vegan diet thing, and it was just, I was like, my stomach was like going.
In reality, oh sorry, go ahead.
But I think it was just me though. I don't know. I think certain people like, but like I love vegan food, like so much. Like I don't know, it sucks. Like I guess the gluten or something, like in Seton, I guess if you got gluten issues, I think that's part of it.
For sure.
Well, in reality, if you're going to be vegan, the right way to do it is to not eat fake meats and all that kind of shit, because it's all just like weird, like, you know, mixtures of plant-based stuff, but lots of sodium usually, you know, and obviously
a lot of shit I try to just make it like straight at home. Like we make our own God, this is gonna sound so like hipster, but we like make our own like soy milk at home.
No, that's right.
That's cool.
We make
How do you do that?
Huh?
How do you make your own soy milk? I'm curious.
Oh, it's like you can. I mean, I feel like being vegan, I get like advertised hella shit, but there's like nut milk makers. Like you can make almond milk with it or oat milk with it. But we just like soybeans. Like I don't know, because it's like higher protein, and it's literally just soybeans and water, so it's pretty like simple.
Yeah. Are you supposed to blend it and then strain it?
Yeah, so we have like a nut milk maker, and it has the recipe set, and it just like does it for you. So it like it like blends it. It kind of cooks the beans in the thing too. It just does its thing, and then soy milk happens.
No, I'm totally with you. I mean, I'm into like making my own nut butter and stuff. If you just put raw almonds or raw cashews into a blender and you blend it up, it'll eventually become the consistency of any peanut butter that you use. Obviously it's natural, so if you have it, you gotta keep mixing it because things separate, but that's just that shows you that it's a natural thing. There isn't other things that are added in there to keep it from separating, you know? Because that's literally what most peanut butters and all that stuff have in it, is other things added in order for it to not separate. Yeah, making stuff at home, growing stuff in your backyard. I love that whole idea.
Hell yeah.
I don't feel hipster when you say that, because it's definitely my philosophy too. Like if I can get it the freshest I can. Like my wife just learned how to bake bread, and I'm not really eating bread right now, but my next cheat meal is going to involve a fresh baked bread from my wife, and that's going to be fucking amazing, dude.
Yeah, homemade bread is so good.
She learned how to make sourdough, and she learned with my mom, and I tasted my mom's like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I was like, we're never buying bread from the store again. Why would we do that? If you guys can make it this good, why would we ever go get a loaf from the store? Because we could have it hot out of the oven every time. And they're stoked on it too, which is even greater, because now it's like, yeah, if they're stoked on it, then we're getting a heavy dose of bread in 2025.
Sick. Like 2020 all over again. Everyone's baking.
I know. It actually is. It's totally something like a pandemic project, you know, like learning how to bake bread.
Yep.
Anyway, did you guys have any pandemic projects or things that you guys did during the pandemic that was different, new hobbies that you tried to do?
My brother learned drums. I started doing watercolors.
Nice.
Which is really nice, and like I don't know, it's just so like tranquil, and like it's supposed to be really good for your mental health, just doing art in general, like a drawing art, because it helps just like
definitely
express and just zone out and just take your fucking mind off your phone and the news and just everything. You know,
that's cool. And you still do the watercolors today?
There's something I'm working on right now. It's just like the start of something.
Nice.
Very ambient, but it's from a video game that I played last year. But it's like the very start of it.
It almost looks like the beginning of like a Ralph Steadman or Steedman, however you say his last name. Have you ever seen his work?
No.
So he drew all the caricatures and cartoonish stuff that was in the Hunter S. Thompson books.
Oh.
So anytime you see like even like the word, you know, Hunter S. Thompson's name, if you see it, it's most likely written in Ralph Steadman's handwriting. But he would start with tossing black paint onto a canvas or paper just with his brush, and then he would sit back on however it landed, and then pull the painting out of that random first splotch that he made, you know, and just the top, just seeing yours for a second, the top of it kind of reminded me of like one of those splotches that Stedman would start his paintings with.
Hell yeah.
You should check him out if you have not seen his stuff. Oh my god, it is crazy psychedelic and really, really abstract and weird and cool for sure. Ralph,
what was his name again? Ralph
Steedman or Stedman, Steadman.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Even the dude's signature is a work of art. And watching him,
I see. Yeah. Like this whole like, oh god, it looks bad. But yeah, the whole the Loathing in Las Vegas, whatever thing.
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. That's like his most famous.
Yeah. Very cool.
Stuff. Yeah. His stuff's really cool, and his art books are really. I love to collect that. I collect CDs, I collect movies, and I collect art books, dude, and regular books too. But art books are really cool. I like coffee table sized art books that you could just flip through. And I got a few of the Ralph ones where I'm just like, yes, dude, I could do this with the TV off, just no noise, just flip through an art book. It's actually pretty soothing, dude. Without just cut off all the other like sensory shit and just focus on one person's work, you know?
That's awesome, dude. Yeah. It's like in our day and age, with all the digital stuff, like just sitting down with a book and like no digital distractions, just like flipping through actual pages and like it's kind of like a different experience, you know? It's kind of cool.
A tangible experience.
Right. Totally. Yeah.
So,
but yeah, Joel's out for the night, and I just wanted to see if you guys want to keep talking about some stuff or what's up.
Yeah. I was gonna actually say a few more things, get a few more things out of the way because we want to talk about Emasculator a little bit more. But Chill Monkey Mouth actually is pulling us out of the weeds with their question: have you made any changes to your guitar rig for Emasculator?
No, not really. Just like whatever. I mean, I simultaneously have like recorded with the same guitars. Well, I had to set up one of my guitars into A instead of B. So, but same gear, same stuff for both projects, pretty much.
Emasculator's A.
Nice.
How many steps down is that from our tuning, Casey? C sharp is what or is that what ODS plays in? Drop C sharp?
It depends on the strings again.
Okay.
Probably 3.
Are you
C, and then it would be in B standard, and then
is it
A.
a 7-string or is it a 6-string or
6-string?
Oh, okay. You're playing an A.
Yeah.
Like Nile plays an A, right?
I think so.
Really? And they play
very heavy.
Too? Yeah. That's
it's
crazy.
It's just like
6-string,
mad heavy.
So then what the fuck? I mean, if it gets that heavy, why did we even need to add more strings? Why can't the 6-string?
That's a great question.
I mean, I understand then they'll be like, well, this is more heavy. It's like it turns to 11, but
you have to do your range, you know, you can like, and then they can do like, it's like different types of guitars. Like they have like, it's also like string gauge and thicker strings, and like a wider neck, and you can play higher notes and everything. You know? So, what do you think, Teresa? Like, what do you think about it? Like, do you like this, like the 6-string style the most, or do you like 7? Or like I've always liked the 6-string kind of like more thin, kind of like, you know, like neck, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I like the classic 6-string. Whenever I play any more than that, I get confused. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, me too. I know, right? Yeah.
Morgan has a 7-string, and I think that was kind of why we converted to A tuning. Because I think I originally written the songs in B, because that's just what I play in for Cartilage. Yeah, and then Morgan was writing songs in A because of her 7th string, and then I was like, well, let's just do A. Let's just get super heavy with it. Why not? Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Reef wants to know if you play with thick strings or do you play with rubber bands?
Yeah.
Rubber pretty thick. Yeah.
What
like
would rubber bands strung on a guitar actually sound like?
Oh man, I don't know. I'll have to try it. I'll have to see.
Yeah, but it's cool, man. That's a trip to me to play an A and like, damn, like, so Suffocation like is like in C sharp, like old shit, like even Black Sabbath, like Bloody Sabbath, like those records in C sharp. So you're thinking like C sharp, C, B, A. C. That's a whole.
Yeah, it's absurd.
C sharp to A is like a major third, right? So, like that's a big jump down.
Yeah, you would feel a physical difference, right? Like how looser the strings feel.
Totally.
Crazy.
Oh hey, Laceration.
Shout out.
Homie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. So let's dig into Emasculator a little bit. So I know you said you guys put it together. So talk about when like things started to really roll and really be like, okay, now this is actually feeling like it's going to be a thing. Did you guys all do it separate, like tracking together or like just sending each other riffs and drum beats and stuff over the internet?
Pretty much. Yeah, it started out, I had the one song Age of the Goddess written, and then I was slowly progressing through songs one by one. But as it is with like, I don't know, brutal death metal, you like can kind of obsess with the songs a bit. I think it's just with any writing, really. Like,
yeah.
I was kind of sitting on my songs a ton and just like trying to like push forward, but I was like, I don't know if it's good enough. I'm gonna keep working on it. And then eventually, so initially Malika asked Morgan to be a part of Emasculator, but I think at the time she couldn't. And then eventually she came back around and was like, hey, like I'm available, let's fucking go. And so I got in contact with her, and she had started writing, and listening to her songs was crazy inspiring to me. Like she just like, did demo recordings with like some like demo drums and sent them over to me. I was like, holy shit. And then I would send her some of my stuff. She's like, oh, how about doing this with that part? We would send each other back and forth like voice memos, like, oh hey, so like at this part, like 23 seconds in, what if you did like an extra repeat? Like that's how writing was for us. Just like back and forth. It, obviously both of us are so used to like, in a room with a person, showing them, physically on the frets, like this is what I'm playing. But, we don't have that luxury. She at the time was living in Florida. I'm here in Cali. So yeah, just sent each other back and forth love letters of riffs and created music that way.
That's right.
How did you guys send the riffs back and forth? Did you like record them or like do Guitar Pro or something? Or
we do both. Like sometimes I have like a full-fledged idea, have like, a Guitar Pro like program of it with just the MIDI guitar, and then I would like demo it with like some like programmed drums from that Guitar Pro. And we would just go back and forth, like have Google Drives, like version 1 of this song, version 6 of this song. Like we just go back and just modify the songs that way. And we're currently writing right now, so it's like same process.
Nice. So on the 2022 promo, Depraved Disfigurement, that song, it's a really good song. Why didn't it move on to the full length?
So that was a song that Malika's husband Serge wrote, just like as like a stand-in song for Emasculator to just use. And her husband is Serge from Epicardiectomy, who was also at the Texas Fest.
Nice.
So more connections that way.
Yep.
Yeah, and they're from Czech. So, yeah, so he wrote Depraved Disfigurement for that 2-song demo because I had only had Age of the Goddess. We're like, we got to release something. Let's just do those 2 songs, get it out there to get some buzz going. Yeah, and then from there, we were like, okay, so on this next release, it'll be songs that just we wrote.
Yeah.
No, and the song is sick, but we were like, we just want songs that us girls wrote on there.
No, that's fine. That's totally that's a perfect reason. I back it for sure. I was just wondering because there's a few riffs that made me headbang pretty hard on that song, and I was just wondering, like, why was the choice? And now we know it wasn't truly Emasculator. It was a man who came in and tried to fucking change.
No, like it is and it isn't. It I feel like it is Emasculator, but not as it is currently, because like just what we are writing now,
Yeah, for sure. No, you definitely do feel the step up from the promo when you're listening to the newest one. So now, and by the way, I truly enjoyed it. I've already I've sent it to several people, my friends and shit too. I was fascinated by it, and the conversation about gender today is much different. So, but what I do have to say is that I just love, being the father of a daughter. I love seeing, female empowerment, and I think that you gals are emulating female empowerment with this project, and not only with the message and showing your skills, but the music too. The music is literally just as brutal as any other fucking brutal death metal I've ever heard in my 25 years of listening to death metal. It gives me that same vibe, as a Disgorge, as a, and so I just, I want to applaud that for all those reasons that I just mentioned. Yes. And anybody who hasn't heard this band, you need to go check it out, because and I do enjoy the the homages that you guys have. I definitely noticed some Cali Death riffs, Cali Death, which is, you're from Concord, so you are Cali Death, so
that's my shit.
It's in your blood. It's in your blood.
Yeah, and then Morgan's songs, she's from Florida, so she's a lot of like that, like, Obituary, Cannibal Corpse, like Hate Eternal, like lots of like deep, heavy groove. Like her songs are more like Florida death metal, which is sick. Like merging the two, it's like,
and not only merging the two, but I mean, Florida death metal was influencing the Cali bands too. So it's like this cycle of going. We're just like sweeping through everything and making sure that everything is preserved.
Hell yeah.
Do our part to make sure it stays preserved and it keeps going, and that's what it's all about. I mean, if you right now today, you have to admit, okay, as a musician, everything's already been done, so why don't you just do your best, most unique version of what you want to do as a musician? And that's literally what making music is. I mean, going to try and make something new right now, that I'm not saying that it can't be done, and I'm not saying this about Emasculator either. I mean, everything that we did is because of things that we already heard. There were so many carnivorous riffs where it'd be like, okay, play the Gorgasm riff into the Decrepit Birth riff.
So that's how it always goes.
and that's just how it is. But you still, you end up with something that you feel like, all right, we made our mark on the thing. If you can do that, then that's it. You completed it. I mean, obviously, if you invent some new crazy music nowadays, that's definitely like a notable thing, but I don't think anybody's going to do it. I think we've all, we've completely swept the floors of everything, and now we just use what we have.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't even know how we got here. Man, Teresa, you've made this episode so zigzaggy, and not in a bad way. I love it.
All over the place.
I love it to death. It's fun to again, like I was saying in the beginning of the episode, and having this every other week thing. For me, it's probably a little I miss it on the weeks that we don't have it, so it's also another thing too, is like noticing tonight I feel like I was a little rusty. I don't know if I was rusty, but I just feel it because I haven't done it in 2 weeks, Isn't that strange? I don't know. Either way,
I could see that.
I had a blast with you tonight, though, for sure. We had a great time.
Yeah, I was really nervous at first. I was like, oh, this is very chill. Like, I like made notes like a nerd. I was like, I don't know what we'll talk about, but just in case.
Well, did you get to everything on your notes?
I mean, pretty much. I mean, I just I'm so bad about knowing dates of when show. Like, well, no, I know the dates of shows. I don't know where. Like, I'm always like, I show up, then I play.
Yeah.
Dude. So I like made like small notes, like, okay, this weekend we're playing this weekend we're playing this tour and that.
Well, I mean, I've barely toured. I've only been on like 2 full-scale tours and a couple of mini tours, and I still can't remember every place I've played either. It kind of and it's not even our fault. It's not your fault. It's not anybody's fault. But you get into this like mindset when you're on the road where everything kind of blurs together,
Yes.
And it's really like you're never, and maybe it's because you're not tethered or rooted to any one place or thing for too long, so you really don't know where things start and stop. It's like, but it doesn't matter. If you look back at with back at it with a fondness, then that's all that matters, right? I mean, I've heard hellish tour stories that I would in no way be able to look back at it positively from certain musicians. So if you have some of the positive things, cherish those, because I literally look back at those tours and I'm just like, yeah, dude, those were some of the funnest times of my life, even though I was eating granola for 2 days straight, and smelling my band's farts in a van,
Oh yeah.
Driving for hours where we have no idea where the fuck we are, but for some reason it's like comforting, and certain like things happen during those things that you never forget, so that's I always say nowadays is like, yeah, we never really make money doing this, but the currency that we gain is not the money. The currency is the memories,
Yeah, the experience.
Totally.
That was like the whole thing with Obscene Extreme. Like, it costs so much money to get there, and our bass player at the time was like, oh, like, I can't afford it, like, maybe get someone else to fill in. And I just was like, you know what, I'm charging this shit on my credit card, I'll just buy your ticket. So like, I just charged both of ours on a credit card and paid it off eventually. And it's like, the money comes and goes. It's like the experience that is the most important.
Right.
Just got to get out there and do it.
Get out there and do it, and yeah, that gratification and satisfaction of doing the thing. That's the main thing. And yeah, I'm now doing a show 20 years later with the same guys that I was doing those tours with, and it's because of the relationship that we built over that time of being a band together, and I'm glad that we got that. I'm glad that you guys had that. It's not an everyday thing for bands to have a situation like that. So that's cool. Well, I don't know where Casey is, but maybe we should wrap this thing up.
Yeah.
But to just about 2.5 hours. Oh, Casey texted me. Let's see what he said. Keep going. Oh, he's popping back in.
Oh, wait.
There he is.
That's all good. That's fun to let you guys have time to talk. It's all good.
Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah. No worries. It's all good. You guys want to end it, or I know Joel had some issues. Joseph's in Europe, so we're a little short-staffed at the moment, but it's cool.
I know. Thank you so much for keeping the thing going for us the whole time, Casey.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, it was an awesome episode.
If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't even know how to do. I know how to plug my mic into an interface, dude. That's what I know how to do.
Oh God.
And I kind of know how to talk. I mean, I fucked up a lot of words tonight. I think that's what I was talking about earlier with the rustiness, Teresa. I think
that's all right.
I normally mess up words and names, but I felt like I think there was probably like 4 or 5 times tonight where I was just like, "Damn, dude, you just got another one." It's all good, bro. I still had a great time.
Anthony, it's all good, dude.
Yeah, you guys, it's so bad. You guys just expect it to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want anything else.
No, in reality, when I'm saying this, it doesn't actually bother me. I just think it's funny. All right. Again, this was so rad. Teresa, you're awesome.
Yeah, hell yeah, Teresa. Yeah,
quick plug before this is over. I made an official page for I'm doing setups for guitars, bass, and acoustics. I made a Instagram page for it called setup_sister.
Nice.
So if anyone needs guitars worked on, like if you have a guitar you've just been sitting on for a while that you want set up, tuned up, or you're about to go to the studio or anything, hit your girl up.
Damn, we should have plugged that in the beginning too.
Yeah,
It's all good though. We'll still have it here, and we'll do something.
I blame Anthony. 100%.
No, we'll make that part of Casey will do his his producer magic, and we'll make that part of the clip somehow, right?
Well, I just click buttons. I don't do anything. I just click.
Okay. All right. Well, hopefully Casey can find the buttons to click to make that part of the clip.
Is this the URL?
Setup sister. Yep.
Boom. Nice. Instagram.com/setup_sister.
I think that's it. I just made the page like a couple of days ago.
You're like, I think
pretty sure. Yeah.
It's all good. It's all good.
Hit your sister up.
Hit your sister up.
Wallace, aka Rhea Wallace, aka Rhea Marie, aka
Wee Wee.
Ian knows what's going on.
Hell yeah,
dude!
You win the award for the most nicknames for sure on this show.
Sick.
211 episodes in, you win it.
Exactly.
Nice.
All right. Well, hey.
Ooh.
Love you guys so much. Had a great time. Love everybody listening.
Oh, the kitty cat. Hey, what's up, dude?
Oh yeah.
It's been like loafing
GG.
the whole time.
We got Wee Wee and Gigi on the end of the pod right here. What up, dude?
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah, he is crazy. I love cats. I'm just allergic to them. They love me too. When I go to play, I mean, I'm not as bad as I used to be, but when I go to a place with a cat, I can't really like touch the cat and then touch my face and all that kind of shit. Yeah. So I just let them, but they always end up flocking to me and like rubbing up against my legs and shit, which is fine. You could do that, but yeah, if I get too close to them, I start to get asthma. But I love cats.
I'm like that with dogs. I get like pretty wheezy around dogs too, like the dander. Yeah.
My oldest is allergic to dogs too, but we got a Cavapoo that's the hypoallergenic, type shit where they don't plug a cat.
What does that mean?
So a long joke is, or maybe it wasn't that long ago, but I fucked up an intro. Oh, Anthony fucked something up, and I said we were just gonna plug a human, and we plugged. Then for a while we started plugging humans. Actually, we haven't plugged as many humans as we probably have. But there should be a segment where we just plug a random human every episode.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
So his spin on that tonight was plug a cat.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Cats are way more interesting than humans, right? So
well, it's like, but what's crazy, dude, is that a cat will eat you if you die in your house. Dude.
I know.
If you die in your house by like in a day or two, that cat's gonna be eating you for fucking lunch, bro.
If she ate me, I wouldn't be mad.
I know. Well,
I'd be like, all right.
That actually would be a sick Cartilage song.
Hell yeah.
Write a song about your cat eating you after you die. Or and then waking up in the middle of it because you became a zombie, and then you get mad at your cat, and your cat's like, sorry, dude, I thought you were fucking dead, you know?
Right.
End of song. 2 minutes.
Dogs won't do that. Is that the thing? Dogs are like, nah.
I don't know if dogs, maybe even dogs after a certain time, nature would just kick in and your food too. Yeah, I think cats.
The song will be called "Your Food Too."
Cats get it fresher. They're like, oh, he died. They like, no. They're like,
okay. If Cartilage,
like fresh meat, it's like sushi.
I'm making a promise right now. If Cartilage actually does that song, I'll do guest vocals on it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's go. Let's fucking go.
Promises are being made.
Dude, I mean, on our most recent EP, we have a song about acid reflux. Like, nice. Dude, there's no way we can totally write a song about cat eating.
I mean, if you think about it, being inside of an esophagus while acid reflux is happening, that's some gore grind shit right there. Like, cling to a wall of stomach acid bubbling up below you like you're in a fucking lava canal, like it's bubbling up against you and you got to try and find your way out.
Yeah,
climb up the shirt. We're coming up with all these. We're getting like a second wind of ideas right at the end of that.
I'm gonna go take a Tums right now. I'll be back.
Right. I gotta go take a Tums. All right, Casey's got to go take a Tums, and we're gonna go rock on with the rest of our night, and you guys should go do that too, and rock on with the rest of your life until the next episode of the show. It feels like it's forever, but we'll be back again.
Hell yeah!
And we will be kicking it with you guys again on that Thursday. But until then, go make your life the best it can be. Go fucking become a millionaire by the next.
Are you trying to say be all you can be? Is that what
yeah, be all you can be. Join the army.
Oh, I didn't say that. That was
isn't that their slogan? Be all you can be.
Dude, do you guys remember those like 2000s Marine commercials with like the like get out there? It was just like
it was new metal.
Yeah, it was like oh my god.
I remember. Oh,
like that, yeah. And that's why we do this.
That's why we do
heavy, it. It's because those heavy riffs in those commercials.
Rock on. All right, love you guys so much. Go be awesome.
For having me.
Yes, thank you for being with us, Teresa. We'll keep in touch for sure. And say hi to your hubby. I thought maybe he might have possibly popped in tonight, but
yeah, I think he's probably still like. Sometimes he has. He's a guitar teacher, so sometimes he's like out a little later. Maybe he's grocery shopping.
It's all good.
Sometimes he visits his parents after too. So.
And then tell him. I'm sorry that another man's been texting his wife for a couple of weeks. I just felt weird. I'm like, you know what? Adam gave me your phone number, and I usually talk to people on like email or whatever, but I was like, I'll just text Teresa since Adam gave me your number. But then I was like,
that's chill.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's not like I was flirting with you. Like, hey, what's up? You want to come on my podcast?
Hey, lady.
All right.
Gigi.
Well, anyways,
rock on, Gigi.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Also, she's on my arm too.
Oh, really?
She's like a Godzilla creature. It's not finished, but here. Ugh. So that's her. Even her little clipped ears on there too. Her big meaty claws.
Nice.
Anyway, thank you guys.
Yeah, no, thank you, Teresa, for sure. And thank you, Gigi, for your pop-ins.
Yeah.
All right. Again, said it 1,000 times. I'll say it again. Love you guys. Have a great time until we see each other again. BattleForgeCoffee.com, GeneratorRehearsalStudios.com. Casey will teach you the ways of the sword.
And set up sister.
Oh yeah, and set up sister.
Yeah,
set up _ sister.
Hell yeah.
Hit that up. And yeah, rock on. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Peace.